what I got from that is he's a hater. You don't know me as a person. Let's say you don't like me. You don't know me. You feel me? And I don't give a fuck. Him. If everybody including win, win. Fuck.
Champ, for you.
You're a proud father.
There are actual tiers in boxing, and Terence "Bud" Crawford just made it clear where he belongs. In a recent live interview, Crawford didn't beat around the bush about Gervonta "Tank" Davis. What started as a casual chat quickly became a bold challenge. Crawford spoke openly about Tank's recent matches, his public reputation, and how he is perceived in the sport. He even questioned the legitimacy of Tank's latest win, making his stance unmistakably clear.
Tank said I was a meat lover. He came in like, oh, this guy, you a meat lover.
But Tank would never even think about hesitating to come up to 154.
All right, what about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. If Tank get to pick his opponent, he would do it. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Y'all was doing the back and forth shit. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or
Man,
is it
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like I really don't like him. I don't like.
Just not your cup of tea. That's just not your.
I don't like nothing about him. No, I don't like nothing about him. I just feel like he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. Like he got a lot of security guards around him, and he know, he in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah,
I respect him as a fighter.
Yeah,
he definitely got skills. He got power. He got tremendous boxing ability, but like his core personality and his ways, nah.
This wasn't just casual talk about a fight. Crawford sent a strong, clear message. He made his stance unmistakable. He notices all the hype, hears all the praise, and doesn't buy into it. Tank has been dodging serious challenges for a while, and now Crawford has stirred up the entire lightweight division. Anyone who thought the tension between them was over was mistaken. Everything Crawford said, hinted at, and the way he said it shifted the energy completely.
He said going out on 3 fights. You know the last 2 fights you want to go out on? Yeah, the last fight you want to go out on. Like, who? Do you have anybody in mind?
No, I'm saying no. I don't have no name right now. But I got somebody I want to call out after this fight.
You said you got somebody you want to call out after this fight?
Yeah.
Who is that?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Is it Lomachenko?
Somebody asked Lomachenko. All right. Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready. What you think about that?
Oh,
Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready.
I need 3 now.
Yeah. Steven Espinoza said Shakur turned down a 1-fight deal to fight you because he wanted a multi-fight deal. What's your thoughts on that?
He's not worth it. He's not worth no multi-fight deal. He's not even worth it. Come on, man. Cam got to fight somewhere else and prove himself, and then you know how they got UFC and like the underground shit? He got to fight on the underground shit and then get that.
He got to go to the G League.
You have an idea?
The first surprise came when the host mentioned Tank's old comment about Crawford needing the money. Crawford's face immediately showed confusion. Then he answered honestly, saying, "Everyone needs money and nobody fights for free." This wasn't really about money, it was about a double standard. Tank isn't a billionaire either. Both fighters are in it for pride, legacy, and a paycheck, so acting superior made no sense. Crawford didn't stop there. When asked how he'd feel if Tank moved up to 154 to face him, he didn't hesitate. He calmly said he wished him well. That wasn't respect, it was dismissal. The point was clear, Crawford isn't chasing Tank. If Tank wants that fight, he needs to step up fast, because at 154 it's a whole different challenge. Crawford's response made it obvious he isn't taking that idea seriously at all.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you.
Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes and daring to be great.
You would fight him,
man. Tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Ooh.
Wow,
man.
Tate said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147 for you.
Ooh, see, oh, man.
You're going to have a pre-camp.
Then what the people going to say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
I don't know.
He's undefeated for a reason. He knows his worth and isn't wasting his prime on matches with fighters who can't even get past Lamont Roach. That's when the conversation got intense. Crawford didn't just question Tank's overall record. He analyzed Tank's latest fight in detail. When the interviewer mentioned the Roach fight, Crawford spoke openly and didn't hold back at all. He pointed out the moment when Tank went down on one knee, which should have been counted as a knockdown, and questioned why it wasn't. He also brought up the unusual scene when Tank's team came into the ring during the fight to wipe grease from his eyes. That wasn't just strange, it clearly broke the rules. Crawford made sure viewers knew that. He then quietly called out the referee, noting how Steve Willis started a count and suddenly stopped, almost like someone signaled him from behind the scenes. At that point, this wasn't just normal fight talk, it was something much more serious. Didn't hold back. He said that, in his opinion, Tank wouldn't have won the fight without that moment. He added that Lamont Roach did enough to deserve the win. That's not something you usually hear from another top fighter, but it shows just how honest Crawford is. He's not playing games or worrying about popularity, he's speaking his truth. He explained that Tank came in overconfident and didn't see Roach as a real threat, and that attitude almost cost Gervonta Davis would breeze past Lamont Roach, treating it like just another payday with a quick knockout and a flashy celebration. But Lamont completely flipped the script.
Judge at the ringside, Eric Marlinsky scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scored about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
From the very first round, Lamont came out strong, precise, and fearless. The fighter who was expected to be an easy warm-up ended up giving Tank one of the toughest nights of his career. Then came the 9th round, the moment that had everyone on edge when Tank went down after a sharp right hand and body combination. That wasn't a slip or a stumble, it was a clear moment of vulnerability and looked very much like a knockdown. And it wasn't just Terence Crawford speaking out. Big names in boxing, like Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya, were also posting online saying the same thing. There was no doubt, that was a knockdown.
How is this not a knockdown? Tank Davis was just exposed, man. What is going on in the sport of boxing, man? KDB Sports and Entertainment.
I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing in there. I think I was taking control. I think I was landing more shots. I think I was landing more power shots. And I thought I was doing my thing. So I'm not really that frustrated about that.
The referee letting that moment go completely changed the flow of the fight. In fact, it might have been the reason Tank's undefeated record stayed intact. Interview 11. Here's the twist. Tank and Roach go back to their amateur days in the same DMV area, so there's history between them. Maybe Tank thought he already knew Roach completely.
Sure. It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision or I think the draw was meant to be. So I like the draw. No, if you take the knee, man, if you take the knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. The referee with the eyes, he's like, a point should be deducted if you take a knee. It's a fact. It's in the rule book, right? The fact that they didn't take it away, then that's where the controversy is, right? It's not, look, did Gervonta get hit? Was he dazed? Who knows? Only he knows. But what I saw, when you take a knee, that's an automatic point. That's just the rule. This is not basketball. This is not, this is not basketball where, wait, hold on, my ankle hurts. Hold on, let me take a timeout. You don't take timeouts in boxing. It just doesn't happen. Whether he had something in his eye or not, you have to fight. There's 3 minutes to fight. So if you take a knee, if you go to your corner, I mean, the rules are the rules. And I don't know what New York is gonna settle on, but the rules are the rules.
That night, I haven't watched the full fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, that, he should be
But Crawford made it clear that the professional level is completely different from the amateurs. The intensity is higher, and the stakes are real. If Tank thinks he can coast on his reputation, he's in for a tough reality check.
The hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Okendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard hit, man.
One of the most discussed moments in the interview came when Crawford asked why the biggest names in boxing aren't facing each other. He mentioned Lomachenko, Shakur, Tank Garcia, and Haney, a dream lineup of fights just sitting idle. He called it exactly what it is. Plain and simple politics.
Tank Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, Roach and him back and forth battles and whatnot. It's going to be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
Crawford said that if these fighters all retire undefeated without facing each other, it would be the biggest mark against this generation of boxing. Being at the top means taking on the best. He even added, I am not going to be the only one carrying a loss. That shows a mature mindset, focused on real competition rather than image. So if Tank is avoiding fights to protect his perfect record, Crawford is already ahead in both skill and attitude. It wasn't just about one fight. Crawford also made pointed comments showing his skepticism. When asked about Ryan versus Tank and the rehydration clause, he explained clearly that while Tank was likely correct, the clause did affect Ryan's performance.
He would never even think about to come up to 154.
What about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or is it like...
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like, I really don't like him. That's
just not your cup of tea. That's just not your...
I don't like nothing about him. I just felt like, he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah,
but like his core personality and his ways.
Then Crawford made a deeper point. He talked about fighters hitting 130 at weigh-in and then rehydrating up to 165. He didn't name Tank directly, but it was clear who he meant. Crawford was highlighting a bigger issue. Modern boxing has too many loopholes and ways to manipulate the system, and Tank is just one example. Beyond that, Crawford stressed a larger concern. The entire division is crowded top fighters, but very few real matchups actually happening. Everyone is playing it safe and thinking long-term, while the fans are left wanting more. Crawford talked about huge paydays in Saudi Arabia and how money could finally make some of these fights happen. He's ready to travel, take risks, and make history. The question is, will Tank step up and show the same level of commitment?
Garcia.
Tank, if you're listening, the pressure is on. The whole world is watching. Crawford just put his name in bold red letters. You've been called out. If you're done with easy fights and want a real challenge like Crawford, hit that like button now. Share your thoughts in the comments. Who would win if these two finally clash, Crawford or Tank? And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications. We cover every punch, every controversy, and every story in the thrilling world of boxing. See you in the next one.